Hello, good people of YouTube. Mountbatten here, and today I'm going to be answering a question which quite a few of you have asked me, and that is, which, in my opinion, is better, the Alsace or the Republic? The Tier 9 French battleship or the Tier 10 French battleship? The 12-gun monster or the 8-gun, I don't even, super spy? That's how you describe the Republic, as a super spy. So, we're going to start right here with the Tier 9 French battleship Alsace. And the Alsace, she was competing for my favorite Tier 9 for a very long time. She was my current favorite Tier 9, if you guys don't know, is the Iowa. And she was competing to dethrone the Iowa, but with recent changes, she is not anymore. We'll get into those later. So, start off with her armor, 32 millimeters everywhere. Which means in the current state of the game, with all the Woostas and the Harugamos, you are going to be eating a lot of HE pins. So taking away that outer layer, you can see she has a pretty nice citadel, actually. It's just slightly above the waterline, and it has that... See, look, we see with it right there, where the citadel's above the waterline, it has that built armor that does come down to cover it. So while not completely submerged, it is fairly well protected. However, it's still acceptable from the bow and stern to Yamato guns, and they can pretty easily citadel you through there. But other than that, if you angle correctly, you won't be eating citadels, but you will be eating a lot of pins just because of the nature of the armor. And that belt armor is a whole 350 millimeters of belt armor. Very, very thick belt armor. And of course, if you give them like that profile right there, that side profile, you will get citadeled, but if you keep everything angled, you won't be. Because again, look how deep that citadel is. That's a really nice citadel. And again, yep, there's the profile from the front. So you can see it's pretty easy for Yamato to just go straight through the bow and straight into that citadel right there. Because it's not as heavily... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's pretty thick in the front, but Yamato don't care about that. Alright, so let's go into the rest of the stats of the ship. Alright. And survivability, her... Come on. By the way, I lost the audio for this. I'm having to do this back in shotcut. So survivability, 74,000 hit points. That's about right for Tier 9. I feel like maybe they should have given her a bit more because of her armor. But, you know, it is what it is. She also has pretty dang good torpedo protection at 45% torpedo protection damage reduction. That is very nice on a battleship that's meant to be a brawling battleship. I'm not gonna lie, I wish a lot of Germans had that much. So let's hop onto her guns. Yes, her guns. She gets 12 15-inch guns. That is a lot of firepower. However, it is not a lot of accurate firepower, because after the recent nerf to the Alsace, her sigma fell from 1.7 to 1.6, and her reload time increased from 30 to 32 seconds. It's a bit unfair in my opinion, but, you know, it is what it is. Now, her velocity is very good on these 15-inch guns. They will cause you to overpin a lot of destroyers and cruisers, and we'll get to that later. She also has some very, very nice secondaries there. You can see you got 3 turrets in the front, 3 in the back, and 2 of those are 152 millimeters. Though I believe those smaller ones are 127s. They have a very, very good chance of starting a fire on each shell, and that's how the French secondaries work. Rather than getting pins like the German secondaries, they're more about starting fires. I mean, don't get me wrong, the German secondaries are very good fire starters in and of themselves. The French just do that better, but the Germans also do the pins better, so there's that. Now looking at maneuverability, her top speed without speed boost is 32 knots. She has a pretty dang big turning radius there at, I believe that's 890 meters. Pretty dang big. And her rudder shift time is, what is that? Again, I watched this back in shotcut. I think that's 15, what is that, 16, 17 seconds. Not so bad there. But I'm sure someone will correct me in the comment section of that song. And guys, shotcut plays all this back at me, for me, at like 480p, 30 FPS, so I can't really read what's on the screen. I do apologize for that, but again, I just lost the audio for this section. Alright, and her artillery, for her main battery guns, they do only have a 20-kilometer max range, which is pretty unfortunate for a Tier 9 ship, but understandable with the amount of firepower that she has. And she cannot equip a spotting plane to increase that range. You are stuck at 20 kilometers. So captain build real quick. Preventive maintenance, MLG turrets, BFT and AFT with adrenaline rush. And the captain for my Alsace and my Republic, they have the same skills on them because they are both a 14-point captain. Modules, I went with main battery mod 1, damage con 1, secondary battery mod 2, damage con 2, concealment, and secondary battery modification 1. Wait, secondary battery modification mod 3. I was waiting for in-game me to switch on over to that. Okay, so I believe... Nope, are we still talking about the Alsace? What am I showing you on the Alsace now? Come on, in-game cat. Oh, I'm showing the reload time on the secondaries. It's down in the 2 seconds for the smaller... I think they're 120s or 100s. I can't remember exactly. But they do have like a 2-second reload time. Throw adrenaline rush on there, you're going to get your reload time for your secondaries way down on the ship. Because the way the ship takes damage, you know, you will be rocking and rolling with your secondaries. And your main guns too. Because yes, they do have a 32-second reload, but after taking a lot of hits with adrenaline rush, you will get that well below 30 seconds, no problem. Trust me, I know it happens to me a lot. Alright, the Republic. Let's go ahead and look at her armor layout first. Again, looks very familiar, doesn't it? 32 millimeters of armor all the way around. And deck armor, hull armor, stern armor, bow armor, you name it, it's 32 millimeters. Except for a turret. A turret's pretty well armored, which is a good thing. Hey, that citadel looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? Same as the Alsace. Semi-submerged with that belt armor hanging on over it, except it's 400 millimeters this time instead of 350. Yeah, you can see right there, just a little bit of it sticks out above the waterline. But again, show any battleship that profile, you will get citadeled. But stay angled, you know, pretty good at bouncing shots. If they aim at the belt, if they aim anywhere else, you're going to get pinned to crap. Alright, so survivability, she has 92,000 or 94,000. I can't read that because again, shotcut plays back such low resolution. Hit points, that's a much bigger health pool, so while I feel the armor layout does kind of suck, that health pool does really help mitigate that. So main battery guns, you get 8 17.1 inch guns and 2 turrets. Yep, 4 guns per turret, 1 in the front, 1 in the back. That's why we call this thing the Super Spee, because it's like Rasp-B on steroids. And you get some pretty dang good secondaries too. You get someone... this is the one with the 127s and the 152s. And the Alsace has, I believe, that there are 100s and 152s, because they both have the 152 3 turrets, and they have these ones on the side. Now, the way the Republic secondaries are set up, you have most of them in the front of the ship, because you have those 3 there, and the 3 on the other side are just the same. Most of them are set up in the front of the ship, to where you can kind of approach the enemy that you wish to brawl with on an angle, rather than having them at the rear of the ship. So that means while you can't get that second turret on target, you can get those secondaries on target along with the front turret. Look at that, you got the 2 152 millimeter guns are in the front, and also the smaller 100 127s are also stacked up on the side toward the front. The AA on the ship is actually pretty dang good. I don't even have an AA build on it, but her rating is 100. Now, if you actually have an AA build on the ship, she will do pretty well. Now, her maneuverability. Her maximum speed is only 30 knots. Alsace had a top speed of 32 without the speed boost, which is kind of disappointing. Now, her maneuverability, she has a huge turning radius at 900 meters, and her concealment is alright at 15.7 kilometers. So, this ship is a pretty unique ship. It's a really unique ship. It has the most unique turret setup out of all the other tier 10s, which I think it's a good thing. You can only have so many 3x3 and 3x4 tier 10s before it all just feels a little bit monotonous. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here now is I'm going to go ahead and jump into the combat footage to where you guys can get my the rest of my opinions on the ships and get my final verdicts. So I'll see you guys right there. Alright, so first up is the Alsace. This clip is a bit longer than the Republique clip, but I feel like it does a very good job of showing the strengths and weaknesses of the Alsace. So, of course, this is everyone's favorite mode and everyone's favorite map, Epicenter on Tears of the Desert. As you can see, those very strong secondaries are already putting in some work on that destroyer right there. And like I said, French secondaries, they usually get their damage from fires that they set, but even when they're pummeling a destroyer, of course it's a destroyer, so yeah, you will be setting a lot of fires, but you'll also be getting pinned, so they're really mean against destroyers. Now you see right there, I have my secondaries targeting a destroyer that's attempting to run away, and I open up on this cruiser right here. I believe that is a Seattle. And he's pretty angled, so I get a decent pin, but I also get an overpin. And usually you will actually get bounces on cruisers like that. But he opens up a little bit, and boom, Citadel, and a couple more pins and overpins. Like I said, these guns, when they do bite, they bite pretty dang hard. And you will be getting a lot of overpins and bounces on cruisers because this is a tier 9 battleship, so you're going to be seeing tier 10 games. And, you know, obviously 15-inch guns at tier 9 and tier 10, you're going to be getting a lot of bounces even on cruisers. So he gets his daily dose of torpedoes right there, and I am starting to turn back around because I'm pushing up a little bit too much. You don't really want to be caught out in the open with the Alsace, especially when you're not with a group of other ships. Because of the nature of the armor of the Alsace, you cannot really survive for too long under sustained concentrated fire. I mean, no battleship really can, but obviously some are way better than others at it. The Curve First, for example, you know, if you angle right and you know what you're doing, you can survive for a pretty long time under concentrated fire. I mean, relatively. By long, I mean like a minute, 2 minutes, maybe. It also does depend on how many ships are shooting at you, what types of ships. I'm just speaking in general. So, and right here is a bit of a showing of the lack of range that the Alsace has. And really, the range wouldn't really be that much of a problem because she does have 12 guns. But the fact that they've nerfed her Sigma from 1.7 to 1.6, and she only has a 20-kilometer range, she's really not good at participating in the snipe fest that high-tier games usually are. Because we all know tier 9 and 10 games, the first 6, 7, even 10 minutes, even beyond 10 minutes, the teams will be sitting out there staring at each other and just trying to get a hit here, a hit there, trying to take a ship or two out to where you have the ship advantage until you can eventually push in. And a lot of times, the whole match is just a snipe fest. I've had games like that. It's just the nature of the game. However, you're about to witness something rather quite extraordinary. There's a Zal right there. I kind of guesstimate where he's going to be at if he continues in his turn. And he does continue into his turn, and skadoosh. Get a Citadel and take away almost all of his health, and pretty much double my damage done. Yeah, that, I'm going to be honest, straight up honest with you guys, that is not normal for Alsace, especially after this nerf. Oh, and something that I should have mentioned at the beginning of this video, I might have, I'm not sure, I'm recording this section a couple days later than the first section of this video, but I have done an Alsace vs. Republic video before. However, with the changes to Alsace, I felt that, you know, this needed to be redone, and plus people have asked me for it. And I may have mentioned that at the start of this video, but I'm just saying it again just for the record. So now that I just got a glorious snipe on his Zal, didn't kill him, got a good chunk of damage done though. Here I am again trying to just find something that was within my range that's an appealing target. Take an aim at that North Cal and let the shells fly. And I mean, North Cal is a pretty big target. And, you know, okay, I do alright damage, like 6k, which it's pretty good, but still not a glorious Citadel snipe like that Zal. So again, a destroyer does pop. Again, my secondaries do tear into it. Actually, I think I broke a turret or something on there and actually disrupted his cap. So there you go. Them Alsace secondaries, man. So again, another cruiser. This one's a bit more angled, and I do take some shots at him. And all bounces. All freaking bounces. That's the nature of the Alsace, like I said. They can... The cruisers, like I said, I'm being straight up honest with you guys. Cruisers can just shift their angle a little bit and bounce every single shell that you shoot at them. It's the nature of the Alsace. However, you know, if you close it within secondary range, there's not much they can do against that. They're going to get pelted to death anyway. And Alsace's secondaries, you know, they're up there with Republics for time to kill. So now this game, if you can't tell, its tides have shifted majorly. We're down 6 ships. I'm sorry, 5 ships to their 3 ships, and we're losing the cap, and we're still in the process of losing ships. So it's at this point that you have to make a decision as a battleship player. Am I going to fall back with the team, or am I going to try and lead a push? Now, Alsace is a very, very good push leader because of her speed and her secondaries, and, well, used to be her guns, but less so now, because she does have 12 guns, and when you close that distance, even though the Sigma's still pretty bad, you close that distance, you can do some real damage in this ship, which is what I'm going to attempt to do here. I'm currently trying to work over that Musashi right there because, you know, most of these, I think pretty much all the ships you face, yeah, all the battleships you face, what am I saying, of course, just Musashi and Yamato, they're the only ones that can really pin through your bow. And you want to try to go for the big gun ships first, because you take them out, that gives you the ability to, by big gun, I mean guns with a caliber above 16 inches, so pretty much almost all the tier 10s and tier 9s. You want to take those ships out first, because you can pretty much angle for 16 inches and below. But, you know, bigger guns means you have the angle steeper and such, and when you're going into a, I guess you call it a YOLO or a glorious death moment, if you can before, you want to take those big gun ships out. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And speaking of another big gun ship, there's an Izumo, but he starts to turn, so I just let him go. Because, you know, like I said, they angle slightly, your shells are going to bounce. And it's not really worth wasting a salvo on the ship like that when I'm trying to take out this Musashi right here. So here we go, I pop my engine boost, and the Musashi's not dead, but we're going to lose this match. It's quite frankly very clear to me at this moment. So I pop my speed boost, and then I'm just going to go for it, do as much damage as I can before I die, and oh, look at that broadside of that North Carolina. It's beautiful. However, it's not that profitable. I mean, I did a fair chunk of damage to him, but man, I really felt like that should have been Citadel. And you will be getting a lot of that with the Alsace. Now, right here, this is why I don't use manual secondaries, because my secondaries are going absolutely crazy right now. I'm not getting a lot of hits, though, but, you know, they're starting to add up. And, again, this is a very good clip on the Alsace's secondaries. Now they're really starting to add up, because they are firing at their max range right now, so that's why they're not doing so well in terms of hits. But just look at those things go. Just imagine those things close in like that. It's absolutely crazy. And this is pretty much a no-win situation for me, because I got a Musashi to my left, 2 or 3 battleships to my right. It's kind of like, who do you angle for? Yep, and there we go. So now on to the Republic. This is a bit shorter clip, but I feel like it does do the job in showing off the Republic's strengths and weaknesses. So the situation on this map, I'm one of a few ships that decided to go to the A cap. And there's quite a few other pretty mean ships over here. There's a Yamato, there's an Iowa. And what I'm doing right here is kind of a strength of the Republic. It is a fairly good sniper, although not the best. I mean, its guns have very good velocities, and its guns are very, very hard hitting. Even though you only get 2 turrets, I mean, they pack a punch. And while I wouldn't really recommend sniping in the Republic, I mean, you totally could. If you want to build for the main battery guns, you could totally snipe in it. I try to be more of a brawling Republic, if you will, because if you use your speed boost, outrun the other ship's guns, you can get to their sides and, you know, just delete them. As you see, you don't even need both turrets to delete a pretty much full health battleship. So I'm trying to go around, try to sneak around in between the A and B caps to get at some ships that are hanging down south of A, because they didn't really have too many ships that went to the A cap either. I mean, yeah, there's a couple of destroyers, but there's an Iowa and a Yamato hanging around south, and they're by themselves as far as I can tell. You know, I haven't had any other cruisers spotted in this area. All that's been spotted is the 2 battleships and the 2 destroyers. So That is what I'm trying to do right now, and I could have popped my speed boost here to kind of, hurry up the process of sailing to the south side of the A cap, but yeah. So there we go, ship spotted. It is the Iowa, I believe. In a very, very red, white, and blue camouflage. And right here, of course, is the main weakness of the Republic. You can only get one main battery on target at a time. When you're bow tanking, if you want to shoot your broadside, you can get both turrets on target. But when you're bow tanking, you can only really get one. As you can see, I'm trying to wait for him to open up, and I'm doing that thing where I'm angling slightly to where most of my secondaries that are in the front of the ship can get on target. And again, these secondaries have the longest range in the game, 12.1 kilometers, and they do their damage via fires. And there's a Minotaur that I was unaware was there. He is now lovingly, that's what I'm going to say, lovingly, AP spamming me. And as you can see right here, most of those shells bounced or shattered, but I mean, he is pretty steeply angled. I did get a pin. And I am coming in at an angle, although, watch this. I mean, it wasn't really a bad pin, but it was a pin. You see, I shift to give him just my bow, so I can start bow tanking. And you can see I'm aiming at his superstructure, and got a turret. That's what I was trying to do. And we had a superstructure and turret to try and knock a turret out. And there's another ship that I was unaware was there. And just look at that. I'm already at half health, and I haven't really been under too much focus fire at this time. And there we go. I just lost my turret in the front. Used damage con to get it back. And now I'm starting to spin my turrets to the side to get them on target. Turret number 2 is taking its dear sweet time to get there. And here we go. Just lost the front turret, so I only have 4 guns left. He's still at almost full health. Get that rear turret around, and goodbye. 4 citadels. Deleted an almost full health. Oh, was that a Missouri? Missouri, or an Iowa, whatever. It's an Iowa class battleship. Deleted an almost full health Iowa class with only 1 turret remaining. And now I have a Yamato to deal with, and he can bow pin me with his guns. So I still have engine boost going, but I don't have any guns in the front beside my secondaries. So this is an extremely awkward situation, in a situation which, believe it or not, you will find yourself in a fair amount in Republic. Don't get me wrong, Republic's turrets are pretty dang tanky. But when you get in a situation where you're under constant fire, when they're focusing their fire on you, you're going to go down just like that. So Republic has a pretty low survivability, but it's definitely what I would like to call a ambush battleship. By that I mean, you, like I said before, you find an island to hide behind, you move with a group of battleships, and when you see a lone battleship or maybe just 1 or 2 ships by themselves, you go for it. And that's how I would recommend you play Republic. So the big question, Republic versus Alsace, which one do I think you should get? As of right now, in the current state of World Warships, I believe we're in 7.9, I would recommend the Alsace over the Republic. Alsace has a plan, Republic doesn't. Alsace has a higher top speed than Republic. Yes, Alsace recently got nerfed, but I do feel it is the better and funner battleship between the Alsace and the Republic. Is Republic a bad battleship? No, but in my opinion, it requires more skill to play to get more performance out of her. And she is a fun battleship. I've had some amazing games in Republic, guys. Just go look on my channel. I got a couple of videos where they're just Republic games, and I did phenomenal in them. So she's not a bad ship. I'm just saying Alsace is better. And, I feel in order to correct the Republic, they need to give it a higher top speed, because you're sacrificing a lot of armor to not have a higher base top speed than the other tier 10s. Yes, with the engine boost, she is faster than the other tier 10s, but when you're sacrificing all that armor and that ability to tank, you need to have, in my opinion, at least, I would say, just 32 knots base top speed. Let's match it with the Alsace. That's all I'm saying. So that is my opinion of the two ships, and that is my opinion on which one is superior to the other one. And if you like the video, drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe, and let me know down below which of these ships would you choose over. Would you choose Republic over the Alsace? Would you choose Alsace over the Republic? And let me know why. And again, as always, guys, I thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to share the video with your friends. We are almost to 700 subscribers. That is insane. And I can't thank you guys enough for that. I'll catch all of you guys in the next one.